Let's get ready to make profit like never before. And if you've ever wondered if there's free money out there to grow your business, well, guess what? There is. In my next episode, we're bringing on the king of uncovering hidden opportunities, Matthew Lesko. With decades of experience helping entrepreneurs access free government resources, grants, and tools, Matthew will show you exactly how to unlock programs that can turbocharge your profits, find hidden opportunities to scale your business without spending a dime up front, and create a roadmap for sustainable long-term growth with resources that anybody can access. Don't miss this energetic, game-changing conversation that will have you transform your business forever. Listen to Profit with a Plan podcast and let's get started profiting from opportunities that you didn't know existed. Hey entrepreneurs, are you ready to boost your profit and grow your business? Welcome to Profit with a Plan, where we share strategies to help you scale your company, increase profitability, and set up for a successful exit. I'm your host, Marcia Riner, business growth strategist and profit booster behind Infinite Profit. I've helped countless entrepreneurs to build highly profitable and sale-ready businesses. See, that's more profits now and a bigger payout later on. By the way, today's episode is sponsored by Infinite Profit, where we don't just talk profit, we deliver it. And if you're ready to take your business to the next level, go visit infiniteprofitconsulting.com. But before we dive in, I have something really special for you. If you felt like you're doing everything right but not seeing your results you want, it might be time for a fresh perspective. That's why we're offering a free growth and marketing audit. In just one powerful session, you'll uncover opportunities to drive growth, real growth in your business. And if you're ready to make that impact, go visit profitbooster.biz and get started. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Our guest today is Matthew Lesko. Matthew is truly unforgettable. And whether you know him from the iconic question mark guy or from his electrifying info commercials and TV appearances, Matthew has been a trailblazer in showing millions of Americans how to access government grants, benefits, and resources that they never knew they existed. With over 40 years experience and more than 4 million books sold, Matthew has made a career out of empowering individuals and businesses to tap into hidden opportunities. Now at 81, you'd never guess, right? He's a passionate just as ever, leading a thriving community through his platform, Lesko Help, where thousands are uncovering the tools they need to succeed. So get ready to explore the fascinating world of free money with my guest, Matthew Lesko. All right, Matthew, thanks for coming on. I'm so excited to
Hey,
have you on the podcast today. We dressed appropriately, right? In the matching colors?
exactly. Yeah. But I got something a little better. Give me a minute. I think I could get something closer to your
No,
color.
no. Stay
Oh,
put.
actually, that's a little bit in there.
Oh, and your collar underneath, your turtleneck underneath.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. When we first
That's
met, you wore another
my,
fantastic
my
jacket that I just loved.
novel turkey neck. That's why I wear turtlenecks.
You're so silly. I love it. Well, the brand is everything, right? And presenting yourself out there, and you're rocking it today.
Well,
So,
I guess I don't really. I mean, a brand, whatever the hell you are, is your brand, and you have to blow up whatever you are. And the problem with branding is that we try to find something that we think people want to see or do. And I remember Harvard Business School called me up to talk about branding, and they thought I had some big consulting company come up with this idea. No, fuck no, I just having fun. This is not branding.
well, I think a brand's success is if it's memorable,
Yeah.
right? And it reminds somebody of, oh, I've seen that guy before. Oh, yeah, I want that, right? And I
But you
think that's the real key.
Yeah, it is, but that can't not be manufactured, in a way that it's not a think tank kind of thing. It's from the heart kind of thing.
Love
And
it.
that's what we don't let our hearts do that, to make those decisions. We get a spreadsheet out and let our brain do that. And it's your
Or
heart.
we're somebody else's brain.
Exactly. And that's even much worse. And it's, to me, the older I get, I see my heart is smarter than my brain.
Mm.
You got to follow that heart because everything in life you're going to do is going to be a pain in the ass. And it's going to be hard and it's not going to work. And you go, have roadblocks and things aren't going to happen. But if your heart's in it, like even with a personal relationship, or a professional relationship, heart has to be there so you get through all the bad shit that's going to happen. You're not going to be excused from bad shit.
No, and it's if you're enjoying what you're doing, you can filter through the bad stuff better off, right?
Right. Oh, definitely. Because you have a
Love it.
higher mission in life. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So Matthew, you like have had an amazing career of being on TV and doing some amazing stuff. How did you find the grant space though? Where did that fall into your lap?
Been here all of my life, and all of our lives. I just never knew about it either. I mean, I grew up in a small coal mining town in Pennsylvania. My grandparents came here from Czechoslovakia to work in the coal mines, and I thought the government was the IRS and the DMV and and the post
All
office.
those bad names, right? Bad acronyms.
And I didn't know anything about it. And then after Vietnam, I got an MBA and started. My MBA is in computers back in the 70s. So when computers were bigger than this room, and I was trying to help management people get information, and but the computers only handled internal information. They didn't handle external information, which I saw. This is back in the early 70s. That's when we had the oil embargo. And that oil embargo, something happened halfway across the world, brought every business to their knees. And I figured, oh, what management needs is an information system that tells them about these things may happen. So I designed what I thought was what I called an external management information system. And I went around big companies to try to sell it. Nobody knew what the hell I was talking about, and because probably I didn't either. But then I just said I did research. So I started doing research, and the people who needed information about outside their company were mergers and acquisitions. So I was in Washington, and I'd help people, rich companies, buy and sell companies and get information and money and to do that. And because I wanted to get paid, I found them anything they wanted. I just looked hard enough. And I found it always in the government. And it shocked me. And then after doing that for a couple of years, and it was my first successful business, I said I got sick of helping rich people. They don't even need this money. And everybody in Wilkes-Barre needs this money. But they don't know about it. So I said, how do I get that to them? And at that time, it was really books, and wrote some books and they became a couple.
Infomercials and all those
Yeah,
kind of fun things,
kind
right?
of stuff, and that was, and it didn't make much money out of working in New York. I had two New York Times bestsellers, but I thought if you had a New York Times bestseller, I'd have a penthouse in Park Avenue or something. Nah, you make very little.
You
Uh,
made pennies on that bestseller, didn't you?
right. And they took all the money. So I figured out how to do it myself and publish it myself and without even being in bookstores, which I couldn't afford that because you have to print the books, have them in the bookstores, and maybe you sell. That's a big if there. So I went to myself and did direct sale, but talk shows really did it. I figured out how to get on talk shows, and that's was the marketing. So I didn't have to pay for advertising. I got on talk shows and they do the advertising for me. Here's my 800 number if you want more.
Love
And
it.
great living. Yeah.
Gosh, it's so iconic to hear how things have evolved over time and to come in. But we could probably have a great conversation on your life, and the way that you've created business throughout that. But I'd love to talk about how companies, like you said, um, the rich companies didn't need the money, but they're the ones grabbing it all because they had the inside edge on how to grab it. So finding money as a small business, I mean, this is like monumental as to having us be able to succeed. And we've all experienced what that kind of extra money could do when COVID came, when we all started getting these, kind of odd random paychecks. I'd love
Right.
to figure out how we can still do that. So how do we
Well,
unlock those programs?
there's two websites I would suggest to start with. First of all, never use Google.
Why?
And that's not so at all. Because here's what our economy looks like. Uh, this is capitalism in our country. This is our whole economy. Okay, 60% of our economy is capitalism. That's Google. Capitalism means you pay for everything. They do things for money. They give
Hmm.
money to make money, everything. Now, 40% of our economy is what I call a community. This is our community where people help people, like in a community. If your neighbor's house is on fire, you don't ask them for the credit card first before you help them. You go help them, and that's what the community does. So we built up this, which just now represents 40% of everything in our economy
Wow.
is the community. The community gives away money and gives away free services. Everything on this side is free. Everything in this side costs money. And so if you have money, then you could go to this side, spend your heart out. If you don't have money, you have to stay here. But
Love it.
the people have money figured out this too. But that's besides the point. So you have to go only there and not Google because you'll get trapped in Google. The marketing is too slick there. You don't stand a chance. And you'll pay for something you don't have to. As an entrepreneur, here's what I would start is one is to go to every county has maybe 6 to 50 organizations that get grants from the government to help you think through your business, even if it's a work at home in bed or to have the next big startup, IT company. They help you for free. These are mentors that are all free, and they help you find money. They help you find legal help. They help you find training money to train your employees. They help you find any help you need. You need government help or you need help filling out forms. They'll do all that for free. But they don't advertise and they're not in Google. You won't find them. But you go to this website. It's called sba.gov and then slash local dash assistance. sba.gov slash local dash assistance. And what you do there is you'll see a half a dozen. You want to go online and do that and see if you can get
No,
it?
no, no. I've written it down because half the people are listening to us and the other half are watching us. So I
Okay.
want to make sure that we don't it would be a nice pull to get them to watch us more often though, wouldn't it? But yeah, this sounds amazing. So sba.gov/local dash assistance,
Uh-huh.
right?
And you make an appointment. The whole thing about getting money from the government is using one-on-one help, not looking for something to apply online. You don't know enough. None of us do to know if that's for us. And when you call these organizations, you don't ask for money, you ask for help because
Mm,
some have money, some don't.
that's the
All know,
trick.
they all know the main sources, but no one person knows everything. That's why ideally you make an appointment two, three, four, five, as many as you can till you find something sort of like dating or looking for a job or anything like that. You just don't take the first thing one person says as gospel. And if someone says there's no money, just go to the next one. Yeah. That's how it works.
Are your podcast guest appearances leading to real business, or are you just hoping that listeners will take action? With the Profit Booster Podcast Monetization Hub, we turn your interviews into lead generating machines so that you capture, nurture, and convert listeners into paying clients. So stop leaving money on the table and get started today at profitboosterpod.com.
And
Okay.
what is a problem, we see that, then people say, oh, it's only for women, it's only for minorities, it's only for veterans. Well, there are special programs for that. My biggest problem is to get the veterans and the women and minorities to realize about the other 90% that's there. If they're not
Nice.
eligible or can't get it from the special, right? Sure, there's special things. And that's why it's so important to talk to more than one person. Because what happens is you don't know anything about the government. You make one phone call and they say, "Oh yeah, we used to have money. There are no money, no more money, or something like that." And so, "Oh well, I called and they said there's no more money," and that's silly. But you don't know that's silly. I do.
Right.
And
And
it's
so these kind of programs are really truly they're if I have this correctly, they're taxpayers' dollars that are meant to
Absolutely.
encourage the economy to grow.
They want to do because this is how elected officials get elected if everybody has a job and making a lot of money. So they give it away to do it. Every politician does that. And that's why these programs are there and we don't get rid of them and they pile up. And that's important to do. I was just talking to somebody in Colorado because I tell them about a program in Colorado. They're $250,000 they give you to buy out your boss. Yeah.
I love it. Buy out your boss.
Exactly, and that's because they want people to stay in business and to grow the economy. It's you having jobs and you creating jobs, or whether it's one for yourself or hiring other people. And that's why if you have a small business, you want to train people. They'll train your staff for free. They'll help you find trained staff for free or train them first themselves, and you get paid to do that. If you want to sell overseas, I mean, you could get $5,000 to get on a plane and go over to Europe and find somebody to sell your goods and services or whatever you have there. Or actually, the government will send somebody out from the embassy to find a partner for you in any country in the world. And I think that charges $300 or something like that to do
That's
that.
nothing to build a relationship like that. I mean, that's huge.
To
So
go
the
over there.
money's there.
Oh,
And it sounds like there's lots of money there, right?
grows every year, every year. I've
That's
never seen.
it. And so the trick that we've all been put into is that, oh, you call, it's not there anymore. Okay, so then it's done. Or oh, it's too hard. Or oh, I have to have, tons of documents and, you know, tax returns and bank statements and all this crazy stuff. It's not really like that, is it?
No, I mean it can be, but most
Sure.
likely it's not. And the other thing, people worry about that. It's sort of, and then what the bigger sin is that they hire a grant writer before they even see the grant. And what you have to do is find the programs, see if it makes sense for you, and the only way to do that is talk to the people giving out the money. So you can talk to the people giving out the money. They have to talk to you. I mean, they may not and make it a little difficult because they're too busy or whatever, but by law, it is. This is your government. And another thing, if they say no, you could appeal that. And half the people, like we have someone in our um, uh, community that helps people write appeal letters, and she gets a 50% success rate. So just by writing a letter, after they say no, they have to get. See, the banks don't work like this. Nobody works like this at the government. They have to be accountable to the people, and you are the people, or
I
we are.
love it. I love it. So you mentioned there's two sites. You mentioned the SBA.gov. So
Right.
what's the second site?
EDA.gov. EDA stands for Economic Development Office.
Okay, no forward slash or back or
No, just
any trailing after that.
no, EDA.gov.
Okay. So these are both government agencies
Right.
willing to give you money that they have because you, as a business owner, are going to impact your community and
Absolutely.
the economy
Mm.
by selling your goods and service and paying taxes or hiring and building stuff and making a better, stronger town that you live in. So I love this idea. So when we're talking about it, okay. So I don't know what I'm doing. I call the SBA and they go, yeah, go down to this hall and file this form over here. And I'm like, okay. And then I go down this rabbit hole of chasing. Is there a group like yours or even an organization like what's the retired business
Score,
owners
score, yeah.
score?
Right. Right.
Like, is there a group like Score that could help you kind of navigate through that?
That's what the first website I gave you is. Uh,
Okay.
they're all mentors there that help you through any problem in starting or growing a business. So
Wow. And it's
uh,
free.
absolutely.
Shikes. Okay, first of all, you're throwing me out of a job because I'm a business consultant. Second of all, I'm going to put this in
I
my
was.
list of tricks.
I was
This
like that
is
too. I was a
amazing.
Fortune 500 and I'd go to these offices and get all this stuff and put my name on it, thank the office, and charge them thousands of dollars.
Love it. Well, they have the deep enough pockets to pay for it.
Right.
But the business owner who's looking to maybe invest in some equipment, there's funds for that, right?
It's a natural, yes.
Love it. So what are some of the things like with these kind of financing, they're not just going to give you cash and let you go buy yourself a Tesla or whatever you want to buy on. They want you to do something specific with that money
It
often,
depends.
right?
It all depends. I mean, it's, I was just looking at one. Okay, you want to start a business at home? This is a new one in Michigan, $10,000 just because you need it for a home business. You don't even have to know what it is or whatever. Every program has a different requirement. That's why we hear about a requirement that sounds, like a pain in the ass or something. That may be true for that, but there are millions and millions of these programs, and they have all different requirements. But you do whatever the government says you need because you
Yes,
ain't gonna
sir.
get.
Free money. Thank you. And
Yeah.
some of it is can be in the form of tax deductions or
Yes, but that's
rebates and stuff. But then others are literally, here's a check.
no, that's what I'm talking about. Mostly is just cash to do something.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And even if it's from the IRS, sometimes they use that. Like now there is for if you're a small business uh, and it's still available. I think about I think it's like $26,000 per employee you could get back through the tax system. Um, if you kept your employees during COVID. That's a rebate that comes back to you in cash. And there's a lot of scams out there that help you get that, but you don't need anybody to help you do that. These free consultants that I told you about on SBA.gov will help you get that for free. And even if you don't know how to fill it out, they'll do that. Yeah.
They'll
Or
help
yeah,
you hold your hand and make you fill it
absolutely.
out right and
Yeah.
help you put the stamp on the envelope, lick the back, and put it in the mailbox, right? It is. So yeah, it is really that easy. I mean, I have
It's
spoken to
easier than
several grant folks throughout my career, and one of them charged a little bit of money and went out grant hunting, right? They weren't necessarily a grant writer, right? But they were a grant hunter.
uh-huh.
Um, I got one little small one from that person, but then, we would chase ones that were like bigger, like you had to, like they were giving away $10,000 and they chose one rather than having many of them that will give multiples out. But I love the idea that we can just ask for help and we don't have to pay up front for it or
Right.
ask our CPA to hunt that down for us and, pay all these other people to do the work
Tell you
that's
the truth,
easy.
I think what's better than government grants for small businesses is contracts. Government contracts. No matter what you're selling in this country, the government buys more of that than anybody else. And the website for that is apexaccelerators.us. Apexaccelerators.us. And like my sister is a small business. She frames artwork for people, and
Mm-hmm.
she did $1 million out of her garage just doing that for government offices that wanted little, announcements framed or anything. And see, there's organizations that help you get that. Consultants,
Wow.
free. And there you could find them at Apex, APEX, accelerators.us. And again, you make an appointment to talk to people. That's the only way you're going to get it. And they also have grants to help you through the process of, because it'll take some time to get a contract. So they have grant money for that. So they have grant money. They give you money to figure out how to get money from them.
They're going to give you money to find out how to help you figure out how to get more money from them. That's fantastic.
It's crazy.
Okay, so I mean, these are three really powerful sites that we can go on as business owners and
One
find
more,
money.
one
You
more.
got a fourth one on top of that. Okay.
This is for you and all your employees. This is to really tap into that 40% of the community, you
Yeah.
know, the green zone, that 40%. Findhelp.org. And you could go there and say you need rent for your business, or your employees need health care, or you need free health care, or you need a new car, or fix up your car, or whatever. These are, if you put in your zip code, like in my zip code, I'll have close to 4,000 nonprofit organizations that give money for anything. anything, anything, anything.
Wow.
Not business wise, but living wise. But as an entrepreneur, you have
You're
trouble.
still living, right? You still
Exactly.
need to
You
do
got to pay
things and
rent,
help
you got to
people.
pay utilities, you got to pay all this other stuff, and keep the business going. That's what this is for. Because
Ah,
like utilities, there'll be 100 and some organizations in your zip code that help you pay for utilities. Or like in my zip code, there's 77 organizations that help you pay rent. It's
wow.
like people go to one place, well, they said they don't have any money. Well, you got 76 other places to check.
Got to put a little groundwork in, right? But I
Exactly.
think this gives you, business owners the breathing room, and you don't have to
Right.
be on your last breath to get this. This is
Exactly.
money
No.
for growing and
Yeah.
scalable companies that are looking for opportunities. And if you can put a plan together that shows what your opportunities are,
Yeah, that's for government money. For living money, you don't. Fill in the blanks, 2, 3 pages, that's it.
wow.
So, yeah. But there's about money and who gets it. Now, this is a new program came out last year, it started, and it was to help people pay lower utilities. And so to fix up your house so you pay lower utilities. And last year, the government gave out $8.4 billion.
Wow.
But those making 100,000 to 100 million got 65% of that money.
Ah, dirty dogs. They don't need it.
And the people making less than 30%, which is the bottom 25% of our country,
That
the
need it the
income,
most.
yeah, and that's $30,000. The top 25% is $100,000 and more. The bottom is $30,000 and less. And the $30,000 got 0.0003 or something like that.
Oh my goodness. That's terrible. Well,
Exactly.
they don't listen to podcasts like this, right? To
Right.
get the ideas that come out of it. So it's fantastic. But let me ask you something as you zoomed in on your camera. We should have it zoom
No,
back
that's
out a little
my
bit.
camera. Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
how does
supposedly
how
it's
does
my
one
camera.
how does one create kind of a plan for these kind of resources? You mentioned that, we should have a roadmap for sustainable long-term growth, right?
No.
No, you just kind of go and you meet and you make your calls and
Absolutely.
you
You
do it
don't know
on a
what's
regular
out there.
basis.
You got to find out what's out there first. And the only way you do it, you have to go on a reconnaissance mission. They say in
There
the
you go.
military, a scouting. You have to go scout. You have to be the scout who goes out and sees the landscape. And when you see the landscape, then you do the plan. You don't do a
Got
plan
it. Got it. Okay.
with
So
scouting.
it sounds like it's not just one time you get it. You can get it multiple times and you
Oh,
can get it from
forever.
multiple areas and for multiple factors that you
Absolutely.
want to use the money for, all the way down to your personal rent and utilities while you're building your company because we all
Right.
know we're investing a lot of our own blood, sweat, and tears into this
Uh-huh.
business, as we're starting it up. Might be nice to have a little bit of a breathing room in that process as well. Perfect. So you've been giving us a lot of really good ideas. So if we go to SBA or we go to EDA or we go to Apex Accelerators or you go to um uh what was the last one? I wrote really
Find
fast.
help. Find help.
Find
Dot
help. I
dot
should write
org.
an H
Dot
there
org.
instead of an L.
Org. Org.
Findhelp.org. These are all super powerful ones, but you
Uh,
have a great community that helps with this, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's yeah, something I just started a couple of years ago, trying to figure out how to sell this information to people. People don't buy books anymore, reference books, and a community thing. I didn't start it that way. I just thought, I'll have a subscription, but then it grew into a community by itself, and where people help people. So we got
Mm.
12,000 people that are helping each other get these grants and applying for a grant, how they do it. So to me, it's better to learn from somebody who just got one instead of someone like me, been studying for 50 years. Haven't applied for one for a long time. Uh, and that's what's taking off. And we have live training 4 or 5 hours a day of people. You could ask other people questions about how they got the money and things like that. And it's $20. That's it. And I'm surprised I was able to do that. And we're so profitable at $20 that we give $70,000 back to members every month. Every month, members apply for 4 different programs we have that give out grants to them, either $1,000 or $500. And we do that every month, $70,000. And that's the nicest thing I've ever done in my life.
Oh, isn't that great to have that kind of community give back on top of everything?
Yeah.
Matthew, this has been a wealth of information. So where do we find that community?
Findhelp.com. No, not find help. Why do I keep saying
Because
that?
that's the
Probably,
findhelp.org
yeah.
where you're going
You
to go
want
get help
Lesko
in your
help.
community.
Leskohelp.com.
Lesko, and that's Lesko, right?
.com, right.
.com. Well, that sounds like a fantastic group to find some money, to get some help, to look at places where, we never really pull back the curtain and say, well, what's over there and what's available to us? Just like in the graph you showed us earlier with the 25% of the people that need it the most are getting the least amount of money. And as business owners growing and scaling, we need support.
So
And instead of going out and selling a chunk of your business to get that support, why not? Well, you're already selling a chunk of your business to the IRS, so you might as well get some of that money back from them too without having them claim ownership. I think it's a fantastic tool for it. And again, we can use this money for daily needs, for projects, for hiring people, for investing in marketing and growth. And I mean, just it's unlimited what you can use it for, right?
some is just set aside for marketing even, yeah. Yeah.
Love it. It's as soon as I get, it's a fantastic time of the year to go start getting some money in to
Yes.
boost it for the rest of the time.
It's the
I'm going to go
season,
look and see what we can find and
season to be
have some sort
talking.
of a follow-up that goes along with that because this is
Good.
really good.
Thank you.
This is good. Okay, listeners, I hope you found some valuable ideas to help your business be more profitable. And I know that, my goodness, using other people's money, specifically the government's money, to grow your business is a really good idea. It's there, it's meant for it. And as Matthew said, the politicians are setting it into play to help stimulate the economy. So we are the economy. Why not participate in that stimulation, right? I love it.
I'm
Okay.
biased, I believe.
What was that?
I said I'm biased, but I believe.
I believe it. It's great. Golly. It's a fantastic idea. And all of this information will be in the podcast notes. So if you're driving your car and you didn't get a chance to write it down, just go back and look at the notes. We'll have all the links in there. All right, as I mentioned earlier, it might be time for a fresh perspective. I mean, look at what we're talking about today that has a fresh new idea on getting government money. Well, that's why we're offering a free growth and marketing audit. And in just one powerful session, we'll uncover opportunities to help you drive real growth into your business. And if you're ready to make an impact, visit profitbooster.biz to get started. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You don't want to miss future shows. So you can always find Profit with a Plan on any of your favorite podcast players. And we're looking forward to more great profitable information on next week's show. So until then, make your plans and profit with them. Thanks so much, Matthew. This was super helpful.
My pleasure. Thank you.